Can you tell me your names, your departments, the name of your app, and what it does?
Okay, so my name is Priya. I'm in the Public Policy Studies department. I'm an undergrad here, fourth year.
My name is Leah. I'm in the Biological Sciences department, and so I'm also an undergrad. And our app is called Health Spotter, and it's working on patient discharge in the hospitals.
Okay. Where'd you get the idea for the app?
So we've been working with the D4 Lab, which is working on collaboration between the Institute for Translational Medicine and the Booth School and the IIT Design School. And through there we met Dr. David Beiser, who's also on our team, and we've been talking to him about assessing technology use among patients in the ER and kind of using that as an outlet to get information to patients. And that kind of spun off into, oh hey, there's this app challenge going on, and so we wrote up a pitch for that.
Yeah, and in general, one of the focuses of the D4 Lab is to look at where the current inefficiencies in ER discharges, and that idea paired with the fact that we met Dr. Beiser really just created this very compelling idea for us to explore, which was that discharge information is currently communicated in a really ineffective manner. It's very hard to read, you get a stack of huge papers, and so patients aren't necessarily engaged with that, but it is communicating very important health information. So I guess the ultimate goal of the app is to make that information more accessible and more personalized.
Cool. How has the mobile app challenge helped you with your app, and do you think you would have built it without the mobile app challenge?
So definitely would not have built it. I'm going to say we found out about it a couple hours before we were going to submit, and we're like, oh, let's just do this since we're doing this study on how technology happens or is used in the ER. So it totally was a driving factor to us doing this app development. And I think it's really helped us to explore all the different issues in healthcare right now, because every time we try to get people to give us feedback on it, they're like, oh, you should do all of these things, and well, what about this and that? And then at the same time, they're also like, oh, you need to narrow everything down. And so, because the app challenge has been very helpful in kind of showing you how to focus and whittle and see what's actually useful to present.
Definitely. I would say the big thing that the app challenge has contributed to developing this idea is providing a structure. So it's really useful to have the check-ins, to know the entire process, how you carry an idea through from conception to actually creating a product. And that's something that the app challenge is able to offer support and resources for, and just talking to everybody and see all of the different things that go into taking this one idea that you have for a really cool app to actually producing a minimum viable product has been a really great learning experience. A very useful one too.
Cool. So my final question is, what's the most useful thing that you've learned so far?
I would have to say the most useful thing I've learned so far is that a lot of thought and a lot of decision making needs to go into communicating information. Ultimately, the whole goal of our app is to see how can we get people to be invested in learning about their health, to interact with health information. And it sounds like it's one of the goals right now of the energy and healthcare reform. How do we create more patient engagement, more patient investment? And thinking about that problem, this has been a lens through which you really think about it in a very specific way and how to produce a deliverable. So that's what I've taken away.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like it teaches you that things are really hard to do. Developing is really hard.
So hard.
But to that extent, thinking about user behavior, I've really noticed just walking around and living my life, I think about how I'm interacting with the world very differently, and just using devices and just pick and I'm oh, they weren't designing very well. And so that it's totally changed my way of thinking, actually.
Much more thoughtful, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.